newsmakers of sports, entertainment, and politics. These are the role models and community leaders that generations of Pennsylvanians have come to know and love. We pause now to recognize some of the greats that passed on in 2022. Queen Elizabeth II spent 70 of her 96 years on England's throne, making her the longest-serving monarch in UK history. Both beloved and criticized for her poise, Elizabeth navigated the decline of the British Empire and the modernization of the royal family. She died on September 8th. Her cause of death, according to official documents, was old age. Sidney Poitier almost single-handedly changed the perception of black actors in Hollywood. The first black person to win a leading actor Oscar, Poitier was also a vanguard of the civil rights era. His ability to transcend pop culture stereotypes made him a Parthian both on and off screen, as best seen in The Defiant Ones, Lilies of the Field, In the Heat of the Night, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and the 9 movies he directed between 1972 and 1990. Poitier died of heart failure on January 6th. The unforgettable intensity of James Caan, brought to The Godfather's Sonny Corleone, afforded him a long, productive screen career that also included Funny Lady, Misery, Bottle Rocket, Elf, and the NBC series Las Vegas. He died from a heart attack on July 6th. Olivia Newton-John was born in England, but she became a venerable America's sweetheart. Her music career spanned country, dance pop, and adult contemporary, 3 genres that made her a velvety chart topper throughout the 70s and 80s. But it's her role as Sandy in Grease that immortalized Newton-John. She could convey virginal purity and leather-jacketed rebellion in the very same breath. What's more American than that? Newton-John died on August the 8th. One of rock and roll's pioneers, Jerry Lee Lewis, hit big with Whole Lotta Shakin' Going On and Great Balls of Fire. His vivacious stage energy was relatively unprecedented for the 1950s, rivaled only by Chuck Berry and Elvis Presley. The Louisiana native died a lawless, offstage life, including 7 wives, multiple arrests, and a bankruptcy filing. Lewis died of natural causes on October 28th. Born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Bob Saget, America's Dad, developed a wholesome image thanks to Full House and his hosting stint on America's Funniest Home Videos. But his stand-up comedy was far edgier. Saget died from blunt head trauma on January 9th. A country music legend, Loretta Lynn sang about life as middle-class women experienced it. Her rawness still influences artists across genres. Sissy Spacek won an Oscar for portraying Lynn in the 1980s Coal Miner's Daughter, one of the best celebrity biopics ever made. Lynn had a minor late-career renaissance, buoyed by her collaborations with Jack White. Lynn died in her sleep on August 4th. Leslie Jordan's unexpected rise was one of the few joys of the COVID-19 lockdown. He'd spent years as a scene-stealing character actor, most notably playing peacockish Beverly Leslie on Will and Grace. But Jordan's hilarious Instagram videos, at once sassy, gossipy, and endangeringly earnest, made him something of an internet folk hero. Seeing the world rally around a 65-year-old gay wit who'd long existed on Hollywood's margins felt like a glimmer of hope. Medical complications led to a car crash that killed Jordan on October the 24th. You know Gilbert Gottfried's voice the second you hear it. His nasally Brooklynese aligned perfectly with Godfrey's boundary-pushing comedy routines, which trafficked in irreverability and absurdism. "I only sometimes mean to offend," he wrote in a 2011 memoir that addressed the crudeness of his humor. Children fell in love with his voice-over work as the villainous parrot Iago in Aladdin, but he also stole moments in front of the camera thanks to Problem Child, Wings, Hollywood Squares, and many late-night appearances. He died of heart complications on April the 12th. Angela Lansbury will be remembered for her amateur detective skills on Murder, She Wrote, for which the London-born dame received 12 Emmy nominations. But she's so much more. A Tony-winning Broadway luminary for her parts in Mame and Gypsy, an Oscar-nominated dramatic actor for her roles in Gaslight and The Manchurian Candidate, a voice performer associated with timeless children's classics like Beauty and the Beast and Anastasia, as well as the 2018 Grinch, and a cultural figure who has saint-like meaning to those who adore her. She died in her sleep on October 11th. Coolio's Gangster's Paradise topped the Billboard charts for 3 weeks, becoming the #1 song of 1995. He reportedly died of cardiac arrest on September 28th. A gifted comedic actress whose investments in Scientology and other contentious beliefs shaded over her, Kirstie Alley won an Emmy for her breakthrough role on Cheers. Her many other career highlights include Look Who's Talking, Veronica's Closet, Drop Dead Gorgeous, and Scream Queens. She died from colon cancer on December the 5th. Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, and Mick Fleetwood tend to get the lion's share of Fleetwood Mac's plauds. But Christine McVie is every bit their equal, having written Don't Stop, Little Lies, Songbird, and You Make Loving Fun. McVie's blues influence propelled the band forward when she joined them full-time in 1970. Even as backstage melodrama threatened Fleetwood Mac's synergy, she remained a vital, upbeat force. I think I was happy pretty much all the time, she told Rolling Stone earlier this year. McVie died on November 30th following a short illness. Ray Liotta, who died in his sleep on May 26, could make even the dirtiest mobsters and browbeaters at least vaguely likable. See his acting in things like Something Loud, Goodfellas, Heartbreakers, and NBC's Shade of Blue. Estelle Harris appeared as George Costanza's historic mother in only 27 episodes of Seinfeld, but they were enough to make her a television icon. Harris also voiced Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story movies, and had guest roles on Night Court and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She died of natural causes on April the 2nd. Born as Michael Lee Ade, you may know him as Meatloaf, was a rock star with a penchant for the operatic. His 1977 debut, Bat Outta Hell, is one of the best-selling albums ever released. In addition to his musical bombast, he appeared in movies like The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Spice World, and Fight Club. Though he later denied climate change and opposed COVID-19 mask mandates, "I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that," made him an abiding cultural figure. He died on January 20th, but no official cause of death has been released. Louis Anderson enjoyed a late career bloom thanks to his sensitive, Emmy-winning work on the FX series Baskets and a memorable guest role on HBO Max's underrated Search Party. Before that, the comedian gained a fruitful stand-up reputation, headlined the Fox animated show Life with Louie, and hosted Family Feud. He died from lymphoma on January 21st. Pittsburgh Steeler Franco Harris was an American professional football player who played running back in the NFL for 13 seasons. He was a key player in one of professional football's most famous plays, dubbed the Immaculate Reception by Pittsburgh sportscaster Myron Cope. After playing college football for the Penn State Nittany Lions, he was selected by the Steelers in the first round of the 1972 NFL Draft, the 13th overall pick. He played his first 12 years in the NFL with the Steelers. His 13th and final year was spent with the Seahawks. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1990. State Representative Anthony DeLuca was a proud native of East Liberty and his American heritage, and was co-founder and eventual long-term chairman of the state legislative Italian-American caucus. Along with his father and brother, he operated DeLuca's Meat Market, famous for its hot sausage. Prior to being elected to the House of Representatives, he served his beloved Penn Hills as councilman and deputy mayor. Representative DeLuca passed away after the date to withdraw from the November ballot, and he was reelected posthumously. Longtime Manila Township Supervisor Tweedy Yatsko was an energetic and hard-working man who no one could keep down for any length of time. He was a member of the Polish Club, Hutchison Sportsman's Club, American Legion Post 51, and AMVETS Post 103, where he developed many lifelong friendships. He is most notable for being a life member of the New Salem Volunteer Fire Department, Pennsylvania State Constable, and a Manila Township Supervisor. He always strived to build a sense of community within the area. For example, starting the Manila Township Summer Picnic and participating in all fire department activities. Mayor Jim Cilio earned an associate's degree from Pitt University and was an instructor in auto body repair with the Fayette County Vocational Technical School for 20 years, while operating his own business, Cilio's Auto Service, for over 50 years. Active in executive city government, he served on Uniontown City Council for 8 years and served as mayor of the city of Uniontown for 12 years. He was 97 years old. James was an ardent sports fan, especially of the local Pittsburgh baseball and football teams. He was an accomplished duck pin bowler with multiple perfect scores and was very active with the Seniors Softball Traveling League. Wayne was a past president and director of the Rotary Club of Smithfield. He was a Paul Harris member for 60 years and Rotarian of the Year in 2012, the year that he protected the historic Grange Hall. Wayne was past president of Smithfield State Bank since 1979, a bank that was small enough to know you and large enough to serve you. He was a member of the Smithfield Lions Club, a member of the York Run Grange, and chairman of the North Fayette Municipal Water Authority for 15 years. Wayne was a down-to-earth person who enjoyed talking to everyone. He was a talented public speaker, just this year having given the keynote address to the JR ROTC group from Abergallatin. Wayne was a defender of his business and property, leading him to be an enthusiastic supporter of the Uniontown Crime Stoppers. He was known as the historian of Smithfield, a conservative gentleman, and considered the mayor of Rubel's Mill. Mostly, Wayne was a cherished husband, papap, and friend. Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them. May their souls and the souls of the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in